So please note in this file of the reading from Sri Sharda Devi and her divine play, I'm not sure what happened on the internet. Instead of having one file recorded on Zoom as it normally is, this one came in 12 separate files that I've put together in sequence. Some of them have a part of a sentence missing. Some of them have a whole sentence, but it's never more than that. So if you have a book to follow along on, that would be a great help to you. If you don't, I think it's understandable. I don't think it's a big problem if you're aware that a bit of a sentence here and there is missing between segments. All right, so we are on the epilogue, page 763 of Sri Sharda Devi and her divine play, and actually we're on page 764 with her first niece, Nalini. Holy Mother's oldest brother's name was Prasanna, and his wife was Ramapriya. They had two daughters, Nalini, who was born probably in the early 1890s, and Maku, who was born in 1896. In 1900, Nalini was married to Pramata Nath Bhattacharya of Goghat, a village a few miles from Jairambati and near Kamarpukur. Holy Mother helped organize Nalini's marriage ceremony, but Nalini never developed a relationship with her husband's family. Quite often, she left her husband's home and returned to her parents in Jairambati. Prasanna was working as a priest in Calcutta and had rented a tiled house in the Simla area. His wife, Ramapriya, his daughters, and Nalini's husband were living with him there. During this time, Pramata became very ill with what the doctor diagnosed as double pneumonia. Holy Mother was then living at M's house, and she visited Pramata a few times. According to her instructions, M and Swami Sharadananda engaged a doctor for Pramata. This doctor later became her disciple. Pramata recuperated and later returned to Goghat. In 1905, Ramapriya died of cholera in Jairambati. Prasanna was working in Calcutta, so Nalini and Maku became members of Holy Mother's household. Following his wife's death, Prasanna married a woman named Subhashini. Nalini and Maku did not like their stepmother, so they remained with Holy Mother. Nalini avoided going to her husband's home because the family was poor and she was not treated well there. One day her husband came with a bullock cart to pick her up, but she closed the door and would not come out. The mother asked her to go with her husband, but she threatened to commit suicide if she was forced to go. Pramata left disappointed. Nalini and Shurabala, the wife of Holy Mother's youngest brother, Abhay Charan, lived with Mother. They quarreled and fought most of the time. Their relationship was like that of a snake and a mongoose. Observing Nalini's low esteem, Holy Mother sometimes gave her some responsibilities to make her feel a little more important. However, this encouraged her bossy tendency, and she sometimes quarreled with Mandakini and Mother's attendant. Nalini was always jealous of Shurabala's daughter, Radhu, because the mother paid more attention to her and spent a lot of money on her. Sometimes Nalini tortured herself to get more attention and favor from the mother. She was quite a character, but the mother forgave all of her shortcomings and treated her as her own daughter. She traveled with the mother back and forth between Jairambati and Calcutta. Nalini was present when the mother passed away. Afterward, she moved into the mother's house in Jairambati. She lived there for a few years, but was not happy. Swami Parameshwarananda asked Swami Sharadananda to arrange for Nalini to stay at Udbodhan House, but instead the Swami made arrangements for her to live at the boarding house of the Nivedita school in Calcutta. Nalini died in 1928 or 1929. According to an eyewitness account, she pitifully cried to Holy Mother during her last illness, saying, "Aunt, take me with you. I can't bear any more suffering, and people do not care for me." During her last moment, instead of "Aunt," she said, "Mother, take me. Mother, take me." And thus Nalini breathed her last. Nalini played her role very well in the divine drama of Holy Mother. Through her, we have received some wonderful teachings of the Mother, such as what to pray for, desirelessness, how to offer food to the master and how to serve food to others, from Amzad, and how to live harmoniously in family life, and so on. Sushila, or Maku, her other niece. In 1908, when Maku was 12 years old, Holy Mother arranged her marriage to Pramata Nath Chattopadhyaya, the son of Vaidyanath Chattopadhyaya of Tajpur, a village a few miles from Jairambati. Maku lived with her husband for some time, but mostly she lived with Holy Mother in Jairambati and also in Calcutta. In fact, her husband also sometimes stayed in Jairambati. While in Calcutta, the mother sent Maku and Radu to the missionary girls' school, where they learned how to read and write. Sometimes mother dictated answers to devotees' letters to them. They also read books to Holy Mother at her request. They looked upon the Holy Mother as their own mother, and she tried to fulfill their demands. One year, during Durga Puja, Brahmachari Bharata brought clothes for her nieces, but they did not like the coarse cloth made in India. Instead, they wanted fine clothes made in England. So, to make them happy, the mother asked another attendant to buy English cloth for them. In 1919, at Vishnupur, an astrologer read Maku's palm and predicted that her children would not survive long enough to see each other. Maku was scared and related this prediction to the mother with tearful eyes. The mother then asked the astrologer how to counteract that bad omen, and she had the rituals he recommended performed according to his instructions. Both Radhu and Maku were pregnant and staying with the mother in Kalpara. Without asking the mother's permission, Nalini left for Jairambati with Maku and her son Neda. Holy Mother lamented. Neda developed diphtheria. Although the mother and Swami Sharadananda arranged for Neda's treatment, he passed away in Jairambati. The mother was fond of Neda and cried for him. She remarked, "This boy was a great soul, a fallen yogi in his previous birth. This was his last birth." It's interesting, a child just born like that and passing away. What kind of karma could be burned in that time? Interesting. Once Maku was suffering from a high fever and crying for her mother. Holy Mother asked her stepmother to look after her, but while Subhashini was rubbing Maku's forehead, Maku was searching for the mother. When she saw her, Maku said, "Mother, don't leave me." Holy Mother consoled her, saying, "No, I shall not go away." With the mother's blessing, Maku recovered quickly. One day Maku said to the mother, "Aunt, so many people come to you and receive initiation, and then they get rid of their grief and suffering. Why don't you initiate me? It will protect me from danger and remove my bad omens." "We shall see," replied the mother. The next day, when the mother sat for her worship, Maku went to her and said, "Aunt, please initiate me, or I shall kill myself by hitting my head in front of you." Boy, my prayer life is tame. Seeing her intense desire, the mother initiated her. This was the first time the mother initiated one of her relatives. Later, she initiated Subhashini, Radhu Manumata, Radhu's husband, and Budeb, Kali Kumar's son, and his wife Prabhavati. On the 24th of February 1920, when Holy Mother was leaving Jairambati for Calcutta for the last time, two palanquins were hired, one for the mother and the other for Radhu and her son. But Radhu preferred to go by bullock cart with her son, so the mother arranged the other palanquin for Maku and her son. During the last 5 months of Holy Mother's life, Maku lived at Udbodhan House with other relatives. Toward the end, the mother cut all her family ties and asked her niece to return to Jairambati. The women felt helpless, and Maku cried bitterly. At Sharadananda's request, Holy Mother reluctantly agreed to let them stay in Udbodhan's house. After the mother's passing away, Maku returned to Jairambati along with Nalini, Radhu, and others. Maku's husband, Pramata, was an intelligent student and passed the matriculation examination. He was in good health, but had once injured his right leg, so he limped a little. When the financial condition of his family deteriorated, the mother arranged a job in the railway for him through one of her disciples, who was in a high position in the railway department. Pramata eventually became the station master at Raniganj. As Maku mostly stayed with the mother, Pramata visited her occasionally during his leave. After the mother's passing away, Maku moved in with her husband at Raniganj. Maku's second son was born during the mother's lifetime, but he died within a few years. Her third son also died at a very young age. Grief-stricken, Maku asked her husband to perform. Grief-stricken, Maku asked her husband to perform a special Homa ritual so that their children might survive. In 1923, Maku had a daughter named Anandamayi, and in 1928 she gave birth to a son she named Shambhuchandra. She tied onto the boy's wrist an auspicious amulet with 8 medals that she had collected from the Homa fire. In 1930, Maku died from typhoid at the age of 34. Her 2 children were very young, so to look after them, Pramata married Annapurna, a girl from Anur. Annapurna had 3 sons by Pramata, Dulal, Mukti, and Alok, but Annapurna also died young. Anandamayi then raised her brothers. Pramata retired from his job and settled in Tajpur, his native village, where he died in 1956 at the age of 72. The mother's wonderful teachings to Maku regarding renunciation and modesty are recorded in various places in this book. She told Maku, "If you want peace, don't find faults in others. Always try to maintain calmness of mind. Pray to the Master for good and pure thoughts and guidance." Radu. Radu played a special role in Holy Mother's life, as the mother repeatedly told the devotees. Radu was born in 1900 after her father's death. Her mother, Shurabala, was almost insane. Holy Mother raised Ratu, sent her to school, arranged her marriage, and looked after her son. Ratu was the mother's constant companion for 20 years. The mother dictated letters to Ratu, and sometimes Ratu read books to the mother. Holy Mother would have preferred that Ratu serve the master instead of getting married, but Shurabala insisted on Radu's marriage. Holy Mother reluctantly arranged to have her married to Mamata Nath Chattopadhyaya of Tajpur, a village a few miles from Jairambati. Maku's husband Pramata and Radu's husband Manmata were cousins. The mother sent Gorima to Tajpur to get the information about the bridegroom and his family. She met Manmata, then a teenage boy, on the street when he was carrying some mangoes. Radu was 11 years old when the wedding was held on the 10th of June in 1911. Manmata was born into a wealthy family, so he never tried to earn money and support himself. He spent his time playing cards and singing songs. He was fond of music, so the mother bought a harmonium for him. He was whimsical, humorous, and immature. When he was young, he made a mini zoo at his house, collecting a peacock, a cockatoo, a rabbit, a mongoose, a white rat, a pigeon, and a few other animals. He also loved trees and plants and made a garden. He stayed mostly with Radu and thus became a member of the mother's household in Jairambati and Calcutta. When the income from their land decreased, Manmata's family fell into a financial crisis. As she did for Pramata, the mother arranged for a job for Manmata in the railway, but he had no desire to work. According to Radhu's horoscope, she was supposed to become a widow, but the mother initiated Manmata and thus overturned the decree of providence. After Holy Mother passed away, Radhu moved to the mother's new house in Jairambati with her son, as the mother herself had arranged. When the mother registered her property in Jairambati in the name of the goddess Jagadatri, she specified that Radhu would be the caretaker of the goddess and live in the room of her new house that faced south, and Nalini would live in the room that faced north. The parlor would be occupied either by a monk from Bellarmat or by a worker, and the annual Jagadatri Puja would be held in that parlor. Swami Sharadananda was to send 30 rupees to Radu every month for living expenses. Swami Parameshwarananda wrote, after the mother's passing away, it was hard to recognize Radu's son, Banabihari. The boy became ill and day by day became more emaciated. His behavior became very strange. The mother used to decorate him with sandal paste and collyrium, and he looked like baby Gopala. When he crawled and later walked, he looked as beautiful as Gopala. One day, I said to the mother, Mother, you have brought the living Gopala by worshipping the image of Gopala. The mother replied, You are right, my son. The worshipper brings the deity to the world. As long as the worshipper stays, the deity stays. I realized the truth of the mother's words when Radhu returned to Jairambati with her son after mother's passing away. Banabihari was restless and greedy. He had lost all of his charm. He suffered from illness for some time and then died. After the mother's passing away, Manmata visited Vibhuti Ghosh in Bankura, a great devotee of the mother, to ask him for financial help. Manmata stayed often at the Ramakrishna ashram there. Vibhuti helped him to open a bookshop in Bankura, but Manmata could not manage it. Later, at Radhu's request, Swami Sharadananda gave some money to Manmata to open a shop in Tajpur, and somehow he earned a little money to support himself. Radhu eventually went to live with her husband in Tajpur. All through her life, Radhu had been well protected by the mother, as if shielded by the Himalayas. Now she began to face the reality of life. When Radhu had ill-treated the mother, Holy Mother predicted a sad life waiting for her. Radhu's happiness was shattered when she began to live with her husband. Holy Mother died on the 21st of July, 1920, and Radhu wrote 2 letters to Vibhuti Ghosh from Tajpur. These are those letters. The first one. Revered Vibhuti Dada, how are you? I received your letter. It would be wonderful if you visit me once a month. My husband has started to fight with me. He is beating me every day and abusing me verbally. Please take leave and come for a day or 2, otherwise he might kill me. I consider you like my father and mother, so I inform you of all my sufferings. Please leave your work and rescue me from this place. Please don't forget me. I have no more patience. I am getting punished every day. Please take me away from this place. Accept my pranam. Radharani. Well, that's a heavy letter right there. It's quite striking to me, the sadness in all of her nieces' lives. You know, a lot of their children passing away and early deaths, and now a husband beating Radhu every single day. A lot of suffering around her. Second letter. Revered Vibhuti Dada, please accept my 100 salutations. Perhaps you have received my previous letter. You wrote to me that you would come and take me away from this place, but you did not come. Perhaps I did many wrongs to you. Kindly come here and see me. I am passing my days with terrible suffering. You have not even written a letter to me. The mother has gone and you have forsaken me. I write considering you as my parent. Will you not look after me any more? Please write a letter to your wretched sister. Let me know whether you are coming or not. I beg you to come and take me away from this place. My husband agreed to send me right now from this place, but who will take me? Kishori Maharaj, Swami Parameshwarananda, says, where will you stay in Jairambati? Why don't you adjust to your husband? Will you not show any mercy on me? I beg at your feet, please come and write to me as soon as you get this letter. Awaiting your reply, Radhu. It seems that toward the end of 1920, Vibhuti brought Radhu to Jairambati from Tajpur. And by mother's grace, Radhu escaped widowhood, but could not avoid unhappiness in her marriage. Within 9 months after the mother's passing away, in April of 1921, Manmata took a second wife, Hiranmayi. This was a blow to Radhu. She began to realize that what she was missing. She began to live alone in Jairambati, but from time to time Manmata visited her when he needed money. He took a share of the pension that Swami Sharadananda provided for her. The shameless Manmata used and abused Radu for his selfish purpose. In 1926, Radu had a daughter named Nirmala, but Manmata never looked after her. Swami Parameshwarananda and Swami Atmabodhananda raised Nirmala and arranged for her to be educated in the Nivedita school in Calcutta. Sardala, later Bharati Prana, also looked after her. When Nirmala was grown up, Swami Parameshwarananda arranged her marriage with Videhi Nandan Mukhopadhyaya of Rajgubati. Swami Ishanananda wrote about Radu's last illness. It was July to August 1940. The mother's dearest Radu was living in the mother's room at Jairambati. She had been suffering from malaria for some time, so she had brought to the boarding house of the Nivedita school in Calcutta for treatment. Swami Atmabodhananda, the head of the Udbodhan Center, engaged a doctor who suspected the disease to be tuberculosis. The Swami informed Swami Atmaprakashananda, head of the Ramakrishna Mission Home of Service in Varanasi. He quickly rented the second floor of a house near the hospital and sent a cable to send Ratu immediately. Swami Atmabodhananda asked me to accompany Ratu and a woman attendant from Nivedita school to Varanasi. After arriving there, Ratu was x-rayed. The report revealed that both of her lungs were considerably affected. She had a 102-degree temperature and was coughing constantly. There was no hope for survival. Priya Maharaj took good care of her, providing nursing, diet, and treatment. I had a return ticket to Calcutta valid for 12 days, so on the final day I went to Ratu and said, "Ratu, I'm leaving for Calcutta today. You stay here and don't worry. Priya Maharaj has arranged everything for you. When you get well, I will take you back to Jairambati." Radu's temperature was rising. Priya Maharaj, an attendant, and I were then in the room. Although Radu was weak, she spoke out in an animated voice. "Ah, Gopal Da, shame on your intellect. You may hide it, but I know the disease that I have. I have contracted tuberculosis. Does anybody survive this disease? You are telling me that I will go to Jairambati after recovery." I said, "Radu, don't think about those things. Priya Maharaj has arranged your treatment and nursing. If you need anything, the Swami will provide. Don't worry." Swadu replied, "Gopal Dal, you are just trying to console me. You are leaving me in Varanasi because you think if I die here, I will get liberation. Have you got this kind of knowledge after living with the mother for such a long time? The mother took responsibility for me, arranged everything for me from my very birth, and even left her own room at Jairambati for me. She is my only refuge. Has she not arranged for my liberation? If I die even in a dump, liberation is in the palm of my hand by the grace of Mother. Brother, you don't need to worry about that." Tears trickled from the eyes of Priya Maharaj, and I stood there with my head bent down. Radu continued, "The mother had already arranged the place where I will die. You don't have to think about that." Wow, there's a lot of faith there. Usharani Devi recalls, Satyan Maharaj, or Swami Atmabodhananda, sent Radhu to Varanasi for treatment during her last illness. Priya Maharaj looked after her needs and treatment, and Sharala served her wholeheartedly. Radhu stayed at Varanasi for 2 months. Sharala cooked various dishes for her, and we would carry food to her every day at 11 a.m. People generally know that Radu had misbehaved with the mother, but toward the end her mind was absorbed in the mother. I told Shalala, "Have you seen what a change has come over Radu?" Shalala remarked, "It was bound to happen. Radu came to bring the mother's mind down to the earthly plane. For that reason she had to play the role of a crazy woman. Now her acting is over. What else will she do but call on the mother?" Radhu was anxious to return to Jairambati and said, I don't want nirvana, dying in Varanasi. I want to go to the mother. Shalala consoled her, saying, Stay here. You will get well. Relentlessly, Radhu said to Shalala, No, I don't want to stay here, although you are taking care of me well. I want to go to the mother. Why should I die here and attain nirvana? Let Satyen Maharaj and Priya Maharaj die and attain liberation. She was a character. I must go to the mother, and I will not stay here any more. Addressing Brahmachari Gagan, later Swami Ritanananda, Radhu said, Brother, why don't you escort me to the mother's house in Jairambati? Because of her insistence, Gagan Maharaj accompanied Radhu to Jairambati, and she died there within 2 weeks. When Radhu returned to Jairambati, Manmata's other wife, Hiranmayi, cared for Radhu during that brief period. She also looked after Radhu's daughter, Nirmala, when she was young. Swami Ishanananda mentioned that Radhu returned to Jairambati and lived in the mother's room. She passed away on the 23rd of November, 1940 at 9 a.m. at the age of 40, consciously thinking of Holy Mother. Victory to the Mother, and blessed is her Radhu. In 1961, Manmata died at the age of 65, and in 1985, Hiranmayi died in 1985. Wow. In 1985, Hiranmayi died at Tajpur at the age of 75. Wow. All right, we're doing a lot of reading. Does anybody have any comments or wonders or insights on it?
I was wondering, were they into astrology and psychics and all that? I heard that mentioned a couple times.
Yes, not in a personal, predictable, sort of unique sort of way, but just it's a big part of Indian culture. Whenever a child is born, it's customary to have their charts done,
Hmm.
and uh, and then of course, with each family has their own traditional family guru, and so based on what the charts would say, and or reading the palms, all those things are very prominent in India. And you know they they hold on to them. They're pretty serious about them, actually. Um, but you know, it's more of a cultural aspect, I think, than anything.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, I remember Upen Maharaj asked to read my palm. I went to see this old Swami at the Arogya Bhavan, which is the old folks' home, the old Swami's home at Bellarmont, the headquarters. And what a beautiful place. I mean, it's tough because these guys are really, really old. But boy, to sit in the presence of some of these guys that have been monks for 60, 70 years, to look at their eyes, oh my Lord, just just beautiful, watery, insightful, present, just full of bliss. And they'll sit there and talk with you. It's hard to find some that speak English, but I would find them. Anyway, Upen Maharaj was rumored to be enlightened. And so I wanted to go and sit in his room, and I went to sit in his room, and boy, his eyes, they were amazing. And the first thing he did was ask, I was with Arapasananda, and he asked to see my palm. So I handed him my hand, and he looked at it, gave me a little reading, told me a couple of things, mainly that I would live to well past 100, and that there were no obstacles, and that it would pass quickly. So I guess that's good news. I'm not sure. 100 seems an awfully long ways away. But yeah, no, those things, and those things all originated there, you know, over the thousands and thousands of years. And Yeah, some people have a great deal of faith in them, some have absolutely no faith in it. It's just like anywhere. Some adhere to it, some don't. Some swamis believe in it, some don't. Apparently, swamis aren't supposed to have their charts done, but so I've had mine done twice. Actually, that's that's not totally true. I mean, it's true that it's been done twice, but both times someone wanted to do them, and I said, "Sure, go ahead." I didn't pay for it or anything, didn't look into it, but they were interesting. They were both consistent. Both astrologers gave me the same report, and pretty much what I'm doing with my life is what they said I would do with it. So here we are. Yogin Ma. Oh, Yogin. According to Hindu mythology, Jaya and Vijaya are two of Divine Mother's women attendants. When she incarnates in this world, her attendants come with her. Holy Mother said that Yogin and Golap were her Jaya and Vijaya. Yogindra Mohini Biswas, or Yoginma, was born on the 16th of January in 1851 in Baghbazar, North Calcutta. Her family's home was very close to that of Balaram Basu, one of Ramakrishna's householder disciples. When Yoginma went to Ambika Charan Biswas, the adopted son of a rich and prominent family of Karda, a family 12 miles north of Calcutta. Although child marriage was then customary, Yogin Ma did not go to live with her husband's family at the time of their wedding. Only after she had grown up did she go with great hopes and expectations to Karda to join Ambika Charan. But to her dismay, she very soon discovered that this rich young man was a drunkard and a libertine. Although Ambika Charan had inherited much property and wealth from his father, he squandered it in a very short time. Yoganma lived with him for a few years and tried in vain to change his life. She bore him a daughter named Ganu and a son who lived only 6 months. But patience has its limits, and disgusted with her husband's immoral life, she at last severed her relationship with him and returned to her parental home, bringing her daughter. In 1882, at the age of 31, Yoganma met Ramakrishna for the first time at Balaram Basu's house. Balaram often went to Dakshineshwar by boat and would invite other devotees to go along with him. Yoganma went with him a few times, and then she started to visit the master with other devotees. After some time, Yoganma met Holy Mother. The two were immediately drawn to one another. They were about the same age. Holy Mother once said, "Yogan is my Jaya, my friend, companion, and attendant." When Ramakrishna passed away in August of 1886, Yoganma was staying at Kalababu's Kunja, a retreat house in Brindavan belonging to Balaram's family. She was overwhelmed with grief when she learned of the master's passing. Holy Mother joined her there soon after. In 1893, Holy Mother and Yoganma performed the Patambar Babu's garden house near the present Belur Mat. Holy Mother used to tell the women devotees, Yogin and Golap have practiced so much spiritual discipline. It will do you good to talk about it amongst yourselves. Shurala reminisced. Yogin Ma was a great sadhaka, or spiritual aspirant. She practiced japa and meditation intensely. Quite often she experienced samadhi. We saw her staggering while she walked from the Ganges Ghat to the mother's house. She went to the Ganges early in the morning, and after her bath, she practiced japam until 10 o'clock. Then she went to the mother's house. Her eyes were red. She put down her asana and then said in a loud voice, "Where is the royal princess, Holy Mother?" Her first task was to bow down to the mother. She would be annoyed. So before Yogin Ma's arrival, the mother would wait for her. She told us in a low voice, "Look, Yogin will come any moment now. She practices japa and meditation intensely for a long time. That's why her head gets so heated." After bowing down to the mother at 10:30, she took her breakfast, rock candy syrup, fruit prasad, and tea. She was a light eater. Afterward, she helped the cook cut vegetables. Sometimes the mother asked her to have lunch prasad at Udbodhan, but she refused as her mother was at home. After returning home, she cooked whatever she had arranged beforehand. She offered that food to the master and ate with her mother. After lunch, she took a little rest and then read some religious books. In the late afternoon, she visited Balaram's house, where several monks stayed. She waved the lamp for a long time before each picture in the shrine room. Our hands would ache after ringing the bell for so long. The mother also sat there, and Yogan Ma waved the lamp in front of her. At night, she offered the food to the master, and then she returned home after eating some offered luchis or farina pudding. As long as the mother was alive, that was Yogan Ma's routine. After the mother's passing away, she lived in Udbodhan for the rest of her life. Hmm. Mother, Holy Mother had great regard for Yogan Ma's judgment. Holy Mother's passing away in 1920 created a tremendous void in Yogan Ma's mind. Yogan Ma longed to join her and the master. And one day in Udbodhan house, a young monk noticed Yogan Ma's poor health and expressed his sympathy. She looked at the portrait of the mother and then said tearfully, "What can I do, my child? Truly my health is completely broken down." She left, breaking my everything. She remained silent, gazing at the picture of the mother from her bed. Yogan Ma suffered from diabetes during the last 2 years of her life. Although her austere body became weak and fragile, her mind was always alert, and she never forgot her blessed association with Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and disciples of the Master. She often went into bhava samadhi, sweetly uttering the words, "Ha Gopala, Ah Gopala." For 2 or 3 days before she passed away, she lay speechless and refused to take even a little liquid. Swami Sharadananda asked the doctor who was attending her to examine her to see if there was a coma, as can happen in diabetes. The doctor checked carefully but could not find any symptoms of it. The Swami was then assured that the master's words had come true, that Yogan Ma would give up her body in a state of jnana, that is, she would merge into Brahman. Wow. Wow. On Wednesday, the 4th of June, well, I don't know why that's touching me, except that it's just such a direct example of someone reaching the goal at the end of their life like that. It caught me unready for it. And I just had that profound image of dying like that, of wow, just wow, how that would be to die and going straight into the one like that. Good for her. On Wednesday, the 4th of June, 1924, at 10:25 p.m., when all the activities at the monastery were over, Yogan Ma passed away. Yogan Ma passed away in Udbodhan house, next to the room where the Holy Mother had lived. Swami Sharadananda sat near her head at the time of her death and repeated Ramakrishna's name, while a monk recited a passage from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The monks carried Yogan Ma's body to Kashi Mitra's cremation ground on the bank of the Ganges and cremated it in accordance with the Hindu custom, with the chanting of Vedic mantras. Shalala recalled Golub Ma's reaction to Yogan Ma's death. "I was seated quietly when Golub Ma came to Yogan Ma's room and said, 'Yogan is gone.' Actually, she came to the master before I did, so it is natural that she would go to him before I do." Saying these few words to her room and sat there quietly the whole night. She neither lay down nor did anything else. The monks returned at 3 a.m. after the cremation was over.